We're talking dwarf tags, SAG-AFTRA, unions, Cataclismo, Concord, Roblox predators, Concerned Ape, VA Proxy, and more.
Hi, I'm Nick, and after being gone for so long, I'm really excited because I heard Josh has a great intro for us.
Yep.
I'm Andy. This is Video Game Tango. Hey!
Hello! I'm back.
Turnbuckles and gremlins.
It's been a hot minute, guys.
The Oxbow Lakes and Turnpikes. I don't know. We're playing a game.
Are we?
Yeah, I said some random words.
One thing we are talking about is games and gaming-related things.
There's turnbuckles and goblins in games.
Yeah.
In the same game. That'd be fun.
Turnbuckles and goblins. The
Goblin wrestling.
Yeah, it's like a truck driving
tabletop?
simulator, but you have to dodge goblins or something. I don't know.
I'm into it. Yeah. This is already something that we need to be doing.
Yeah, we've been gone a while for reasons related to reality. And now reality is no longer. We can get back to the fun stuff.
Amen, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of fun stuff, Nick.
Yes, I'm here with a brand new game that is tagged dwarf on Steam because now there's a dwarf tag. That's amazing. This game, let me pull it up here. I've yet to play it myself. I've watched a few hours of it played by various people, and I find it fantastic. Is called Forgotten Mines. This is a single developer little game. Developer is Cannibal Goose. It's coming in, I think, at currently $6.80. You play as a group of dwarves or other lineages, depending on what you choose, delving down into a mine in a kind of Final Fantasy Tactics style gameplay. It's a roguelite. What is really neat about it is the game has a lot of depth. There are dozens and dozens of classes. Yeah. And has a neat, fun kind of game loop mechanic where as you're going room to room fighting goblins and skeletons and monsters, you have a certain amount of time before reinforcements show up. Maybe you can beat the first reinforcement wave, but you're not going to beat the other ones. But the problem is that besides the monsters that you're fighting, all of your loot and treasure and like gems and gold for buying upgrades are things on the map that you have to either mine out or break open and collect. So there's a nice fun balancing factor deciding when and how am I going to collect the loot in this level, but also handle all the enemies with the limited time I have. The combat is pretty standard, relatively JRPG stuff. I wouldn't call it a JRPG. But if you've played, turn-based role-playing games, you've seen this. But yeah, there is a lot of depth to it. I really am surprised at what this single developer managed to pull off. And at such a low price, under $7. If you like roguelites that you can grind out, that have some fun meta progression, this is a very, very cheap price to pay for what seems like a very fantastic game.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right on. It looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I can tell.
Like you said, it has a very fun Final Fantasy Tactics kind of a feel and look to it. So it looks cool. Cool. Plus, it has a dwarf tag.
It's got a dwarf tag. It's under $7.
I just like that there's a dwarf tag on Steam. That's just
people make dwarf games.
Yeah,
it's
that's
excellent.
True. Dwarf is a genre.
Yeah.
It's lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. Now,
if we say the word one more time, Peter Dinklage is going to come here and kick our ass. So
that's true.
Gotta.
Once you start getting that cheap in price, it's really hard to find solid games. You used to really start having to sift through a lot. So I did want to call that one out as a nice little standout that I'm enjoying so far and will likely pick up soon.
Excellent. Right on.
Yeah.
Josh, you got a little follow-up?
Yeah, I got some stuff to talk about. So right now, SAG-AFTRA, we just got over the actors for TV and for movies and the writers and just got over all that stuff, right? Well, video game actors are inching closer and closer to a strike and a walkout. So the Screen Actors Guild, led by their chief negotiator, Duncan Crabtree Ireland, has said there's they have the authority to call a strike. 30,000 union members voted 98% in favor of authorizing a strike.
Wow.
So the contract, the media, an interactive media agreement, that contract expired in 2022. Since then, AI it was a huge sticking point for the writers and the actors eventually in the Hollywood strike. It's an even bigger deal here in video games because almost all of the acting work is mocap and voiceover. And right now in this industry, which, by the way, the video games industry has long outstripped Hollywood for money, for profits, for wealth. And in this industry, AI is what amounts to a wolf loose amongst the sheep pen. Last year in the video game industry, we lost over 10,000 jobs. This year, we've already surpassed that, and there's still several months to go. We're into the 11,000s. And some of the largest companies, like Activision Blizzard, now this was before the acquiring of them by Microsoft, in the spring of 2023, emails got sent all around to the company about how AI is what we're looking for in going forward, is what we're going to be trying to push with the technology. So already it was AI tools like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion were in that year were producing concept art for games like Modern Warfare, which used to be done by a person, and now it's not. It's one of the many, many thousands of jobs that has been lost. And that was in 2023. It's getting harder and harder to be a digital artist, because even if it's already stolen your work, and it's already being used to put you out of already a slim job market.
Yeah.
It just feels like one of he's going by the pseudonym Noah, says they felt like they were throwing away their humanity as just job after job, person after person, careers lost for the want of a few extra bucks. And it's only gonna get worse unless that SAG-AFTRA strike happens and more things start unionizing, which we've actually gotten a little bit of positive news on. One of the largest unionization in the video game industry just happened with Bethesda.
Yeah, in fact, as IGN reports, Bethesda officially becomes the first Microsoft game studio to fully unionize. So Bethesda Game Studios is officially the first Microsoft game developer to fully unionize under the Communication Workers of America, the CWA. We'll hear about them again here shortly, forming a wall-to-wall union of developers, including artists, engineers, programmers, and designers. It has been officially recognized by Microsoft, so we have it officially recognized by the parent company union in Bethesda.
Hot darn.
Yep.
That's exciting news.
In the same week, it's crazy. Activision Blizzard now has another union, and it's a big one. So more than 500 developers at Blizzard Entertainment who work on World of Warcraft have voted to form a union, the World of Warcraft Game Makers Guild, formed with the assistance of the Communication Workers of America, the CWA again. It's composed of employees across every department, including designers, engineers, artists, producers, and more. Together, they have formed the largest wall-to-wall union, or a union inclusive of multiple departments and disciplines at Microsoft. So two pretty massive-sized unions in the gaming
really
industry.
good to hear.
Yeah, both under the flag of Microsoft. So cool. I'm glad to see. At least that was one of the beneficial things that comes out of the Activision Blizzard merger with Microsoft. Is Microsoft has vocally stated that they will be in support of unionization efforts by their acquired companies if they choose to do so. And so far, they have honored what they said. So
I hope a few more companies follow that lead. Because, I mean, it might stop them from being cut like Tango Game Studios, Naughty Dog. So, I mean, there's it's a different dog. It was a different dog kind of name. And already, studios this year, plenty of them have just been boarded up, closed up, bye, gone.
Yeah. But good for these guys.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, they've got voting power in their industry. Excellent for them. On to other news. Nick and I played a little thing called Throne and Liberty this past week.
That sounds patriotic.
Nope. It's a Korean MMO.
Nothing to do with the game.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, at least as far as we got, we have no idea why it's called Throne and Liberty in the first few hours of gameplay. I don't know how much you played exactly, Nick. I know it wasn't
2
long.
2 hours.
Yeah, I know it wasn't too long after I announced in the Discord that this was happening that you're like, yeah, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I pretty much, spoiler alert, decided also it is not for me. Now, I like the MMO genre. I've played a lot of MMOs at this point. The only one that's ever stuck hard with me is World of Warcraft. I did play a lot of Ragnarok Online back in its heyday, but that's no more. Well, at least in the way it used to be. But going back to Throne and Liberty, yeah, it's a weird game. It definitely feels like they are just using some random UE5 assets in some places. There's a lot of artistic decisions that I find a little bit weird. So overall theme of the whole thing is none of it feels super cohesive. It really kind of does Throne slap together. Like they weren't thinking of the themes of the world and that kind of thing when they did the combat. It didn't feel like they were thinking of, I don't know. It felt like there were like 12 different departments that did not communicate with each other about the game they were making, and then they put it together, and there was no harmony. I found the combat was lackluster. The visuals, they're pretty good, but again, it feels like they're all just like random UE5 assets. Like they were all purchased. They weren't handmade for this game. The storytelling was awkward. The writing was weird. The cutscenes were awful, and I honestly don't know. I got a few hours of it. I want like enough. I was curious enough to kind of learn the systems. The combat had me for a little bit. I was like, okay, this is like live combat. I found it to be way too slow for me. Like, the APM is like every other minute. It's the cooldowns. The cooldowns on abilities are way too long. That might be corrected in later levels. Maybe that's how they do their power scaling, as a reduction of cooldowns on abilities. I hit like level 10 and I got a whole new chunk of abilities, because you start out with like 6 combat focused abilities, and after that you get like, I think I got 4 more. Now, none of them felt particularly good. So one of the most spammable abilities that I had, like it had the shortest cooldown. I think it was like 5-6 seconds, which is already kind of a long cooldown for like a main ability.
Yeah.
But it had like the shortest cooldown, but it was also my most damaging ability. I played straight melee DPS, the broadsword class character thing choice.
Yeah.
And because that's usually how I feel out in MMO in the very beginning, and then I'll branch out into healer, tank, or whatever the MMO has as far as class structure. That's how I started, and that's how I like to start MMOs. And yeah, it just felt kind of disjointed and weird in all forms of itself. I can't say I didn't have any fun. I thought some elements were interesting. I thought there were a couple neat quests that I did, but for the most part, it is go kill this thing. It'll drop this. You take it to the guy. He'll tell you to kill 3 of these things. Then you click your quest log, and it gives you your XP and rewards. So nothing too interesting there. I got to like level 17. So I did put some effort into the game before I just decided it's not for me. And it's not like it's a hard pass. I can't say that I didn't have any fun. It was fun enough for the first few hours, and then the fun slowly died for me. And at the end of the day, I thought to myself, do I see myself coming back to this game for more? And I didn't feel that. The moment I put it down, I was satisfied enough with the time that I had with it. So, and that's not good MMO gameplay. So, yeah. Those are my basic thoughts on it. Overall, I think the theme for me is that it just felt very disjointed and not like a complete game.
Yeah. This game is from NCSoft, which has a long history of MMOs, some of which have stuck around, some of which haven't. Just as a reminder, we have stuff like WildStar, which I liked but died quickly, the Guild Wars games, the Lineage games, Aeon, City Heroes way back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is... I'm pretty much going to say everything you say, but slightly worse. I mean, this... I don't know how much of it is a translation problem, but the writing is just piss poor and incoherent. The objects in the game and the textures and the stories and the characters, completely incoherent, right? Like you're saying, they just feel like they grabbed from a random bag of fantasy elements and just threw it at the screen, right?
Yeah.
And once I realized the writing made no sense and was incoherent, the scene transitions, I was like jarred. I didn't know what was supposed to be going on. I started skipping them, which made it that much worse. Right. Some of it was like I laughed out loud. It was so bad. Like the voice acting and the emotions and the word choice they were using. And then when you go to play it, like it just plays like every other Korean MMO. Yeah. Like at this point, if you want to play a good Korean MMO, they're out there. You can go back. You can like Lost Ark has now been around for a little while. I'm sure it's gotten over its hiccups. Go play that. That one's free to try. Right.
Totally.
You know,
I got way more time out of Lost Ark than I did this.
Yeah. And I didn't see anything this game was doing that had enough novelty or uniqueness for it to stand out from any other MMO.
Yeah.
There's been hundreds of MMOs over the years. It feels like every single generic MMO. And then it was plagued with some bugs that I had that I'm sure they'll probably fix because it's fresh, but like there's nothing drawing me to this game. And I'm surprised I made the 2 hours, mostly because I just wanted to give it a fair shake and get past the opening of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you like it, cool. Just know that there's better MMOs out there that are also free. And then there's paid MMOs that are even better.
For sure. You know? For our audio listeners, I apologize, but for our video viewers, check out this next scene. I'm going to go to 14 minutes here into this, the video that we have on screen. And I'm going to show you one of the first major cutscenes that you get in the game. You're in a like medieval fantasy type world, and it all feels fairly real as far as fantasy is concerned and grounded. And then you're given, I think the character's name is Helpy.
Yeah, you're trying to get past this giant world tree because there's a world tree, but the elevator broke.
Yeah, the elevator broke, and that's a major plot point.
A hand-stitched teddy bear, cute anime, weeaboo little, what was it, kawaii? Like little creature.
A little plush toy with a witch hat on.
Yeah. Grabs your hand, and you fly around like Harry Potter on a broom for like a good 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Is what it felt like. It's just making
forever.
Cute noises.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I get that's part of their culture and stuff, but this is right in the middle of the opening of the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me anything about what I'm supposed to be doing. It doesn't help. And then after that's done, the creature just hangs around you. Like, does it really do anything else?
The creature hangs out around you to give you some tutorial as you're playing. The weird thing is we have another character on screen now named Clay, who also acts as a tutorial guide.
Yeah, you're literally following him.
Yeah, and he's giving you the narrative and plot of what's going on, and you go fight an orc. But so Helpy hangs around you for a little while, kind of acting as like a Navi if you go back to Ocarina of Time. And, you know, like little pop-ups here. Hey, click on this to apply your stats with your new level, etc. The thing is like 4 hours into the game decides the tutorial's over, and you have a cutscene where you say goodbye to Helpy.
Oh, really?
Forever.
What?
Yes. So
Does God? Okay.
So I don't understand the introduction. these Fey creatures because there's more than just Helpy. The weird thing is after you say goodbye to Helpy, a new plush starts following you, has zero introduction at all, has zero voiceover, doesn't put anything on screen. It's no longer helping you in any way, but you get a new random plush, and it's like stitched together, and it kind of looks like a pile of garbage. So it's very bizarre that they have this grandiose introduction to this thing. They use it as some kind of plot device and some kind of tutorial device, but then they get rid of it just to give you another one that does absolutely nothing, which I assume they've got some kind of pet system, and that's what this new plush is for. But anyway, that's one. It's again a thing that made everything feel very disjointed. Because the rest is super serious. Right after you pick up Helpy, you go kill some massive, colossal orc king that comes in through a dimensional rift in the sky. Cool cutscene. It's great. But also, at no point in the game did I feel like I was ever in danger. I'm going up and beating the shit out of everything. And in the tutorial fight with this orc king, orc god, that you're fighting, that's like 2.5 stories tall and wielding an axe that's twice your height, you're getting constantly healed. Constantly.
I was playing a glass cannon mage and I just tanked everything.
Yeah, you can just stand there and tank it. It tries to tell you to do things, but again, you don't have to do them to continue on the tutorial. You can just hack and slash the thing until it's out of health, and then you go on to the next thing. And yeah, I don't think there's anything mechanically new here, and on top of that, it just doesn't feel cohesive. So hard pass for me. I say if it's if you can get into it for free during a trial or beta, go for it. Just check it out, see if it's for you, but only in a free capacity. I can't suggest anything else.
Yeah, the game is already selling 3 different priced bundles for early access stuff.
Yeah.
Different skins for all your animal forms. You can get the Explorer title for $40.
Well, I hate to beat a dead horse because I'm going to say basically what I just said over again, but you have a travel form, which I think is a kind of a novel thing. You turn into a wolf, but so does everybody. Hope maybe they give you. I did actually see other travel forms.
You turn different 4-legged animals, but yeah, it's just when you hold shift to run, you turn into a wolf. When you fall down a cliff, you turn into a bird. Which is neat. Some people really love that stuff. Mount collectors and WoW. I get it. It's for people that aren't me. But then you're given a tutorial on how to become your flight form. Well, right after that tutorial for your flight form ends, it ends in a cutscene, and then for the next 5.5 hours, never got it again. They give you they teach you a mechanic that clearly you are not going to use for a long time, and then they introduce you to the flight path guy. So so I land from my flight form so I can talk to the flight path guy so I can get my cutscene so I can continue the story. Again, this is all in the everything that I've talked about is really it's showcased in the first hour. Everything after that was just kind of more of the same. Honestly, yeah. Go play the other free-to-play MMOs that have had a year now, 6 months under their belt to get their feet started. And if you have the money, play WoW or Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14 is this, but a million times better.
Yeah, and dude, who the fuck is putting out an MMO in the same month that the War Within starts their pre-patch? Pre-patch starts this week. I
don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, bad moves all across the board. And if say you have an Amazon Prime account and this is free or whatever, I don't know their pay models. It's actually trying to find that information was actually frustratingly difficult.
It's not a good sign.
No, because they're talking about a $40 one time and buy it. And then I found other stuff saying that Amazon Prime members will be able to play it for free. But also I saw documentation otherwise, and they don't have any kind of buy now on their site. It's not posted on Amazon yet. So I just, it all seems really oddly opaque. Yeah. And I don't know why. So that throws me off. But if you really want another Amazon MMO to go play fucking New World. They've added tons of content since the last time we played, and jumping into that game for the first time is a treat. So I'd say go play some New World if you want to go play an MMO from Amazon. Just ignore this one. Yeah. So yeah, those are our thoughts on Throne and Liberty. Just stay away from it. It's not worth the time.
It's rough looking. I didn't play it at all, and honestly, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, that's just taking up space in my hard drive. I play that
for sure. That's actually one of the first things I did was I just uninstalled it. This is extra space. Anyways, let's talk about good games. Nick.
Ooh.
Bum bum bum. It's not the apocalypse. It's not Armageddon. It's Cataclismo.
Oh.
I just came up with that. You owe me $1.
Okay.
So what is Cataclismo? Cataclismo is described.
That's a sick wrestling name.
The Cataclismo. Good luchador. Design and build fortresses brick by brick to stand against endless hordes of horrors in this real-time strategy game with resource management, siege defense, and exploration.
Oh boy, that seems fun.
Lead from the ramparts, push back the darkness, and hold fast against the creatures of the mist. So this is a heavily stylized game in a style that I love. That is essentially, here's a bunch of Lego bricks, build a really cool fort, and then also kind of play it like an RTS or tower defense.
Yeah.
They have managed to, through almost vibes alone, audio work, graphic work, animations, and the whole style of the game, made this really feel like you're building your own little personal brick by brick base. On top of being able to make forts and walls and bastions that look awesome, stuff like the height of the walls, the thickness of the walls are all very important mechanically because almost all of your characters using to defend against these hordes are ranged characters, and the height and distance they are from the enemies has a huge effect on the gameplay. And you can do a really good, fun job, and relatively easy too, to make something that looks good and is also functional. And always kind of chasing down that perfect high of like, can I make this mechanically super effective, but also look badass? I watched quite a bit of it. It does have some levels, like defend one tower or build a base and defend, or here's a hero and kind of, travel through the map. So it's kind of hard to like pin it down as an RTS or a tower defense or a base building game. It gives more besieged vibes than it plays like, but it really does kind of feel like that. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing people using this to make really crazy objects and whatnot if they added more stuff. But yeah, this one it seems really, really, really fun. It is currently, I think, like $20, $23 on Steam.
Very interesting.
And everyone I've seen play it loves it. And yeah, it's kind of a neat idea to have a tower defense game that's also kind of like a base builder, but more Lego than anything. Because yeah, you're not building. I mean, I think there's a blueprint system. You might be able to like save and pre-build things, but you really can't because the terrain and level design, the levels aren't super big, so you have to be space efficient, and they vary in where you can build and how you can build. So you have to take advantage of natural choke points and height advantages, and it's got kind of a They Are Billions vibe with the sheer number of enemies running at you, and yeah. I highly recommend checking this game out. And if you don't have the 20-something bucks to plunk on it right away, just Google it on YouTube, watch a little bit of it. It's worth your time.
Yeah.
I definitely like the multi-aspect level of it. Like, so you get some base building and then the RTS aspect too, a little exploring. It's definitely fun. I like it. And got their fingers in some pies.
Definitely.
It's also published by Hooded Horse, which also does like all of my favorite games. So yeah, give them some love.
And just so you guys remember, if you can't remember the name of the games we talked about after listening or watching, go to videogametango.com. I'll put them in all the show notes. I'll have links to everything, like Steam pages, wherever it's found, except for Throne and Liberty. You can find that yourself.
Just picture the luchador Cataclismo coming in at you with a flying elbow.
Before we get to our last game, just some quick news. A little bit of I told you so. Concord's open beta will conclude with underwhelming PC player counts, reported by Game Rant.
It was so underwhelming that I had to read 2 articles on it to remember what game it was.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like big news. I'm like, I know this game from somewhere.
We talked about how bad it looked. So its all-time peak was 2,388 players on Steam.
This was the Guardians of the Galaxy-esque cinematic trailer we saw with like the big green lizard dude. and they almost fell off the thing.
Yeah, weird bubble robot guy.
The Overwatch clone.
The Overwatch clone with Tabasco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. On top of that, Concord fails to crack Steam's 750 most wishlisted games after disappointing beta, reported by The Gamer. So another interesting.
Yeah, I saw it was tied for like some shipping company simulator DLC.
Yeah.
Not even the game.
Not even the game. Not even the core game. Just the DLC.
Yeah.
More real quick news. Just some attention-grabbing headlines here. Reported by eTechnics. Roblox reports over 13,000 child exploitation cases in 2023 in a single year.
You used to watch some documentaries on that. They essentially make content for Roblox, and Roblox takes it from them. It's like
it's
child
not as worse as
No. So there is a little bit of that, but they're mostly they're actually mostly talking about like sexual exploitation, predation.
That was what I was fearing.
So
I wish it was just fraud.
Just reported by Roblox to authorities.
What does that even mean?
Is over 1,300 requests from authorities about predatory players. Since 2018, at least 24 people in the U.S. have been arrested for abusing victims they met on Roblox. A notable case involved Arnold Castillo, also known as, and I shit you not, Dr. Rofatnik. Castillo ran a successful Sonic the Hedgehog rip-off game in Roblox. He earned tens of thousands of dollars and had many young fans. Despite reports of inappropriate contact with players as young as 12, Castillo was only caught after a 15-year-old girl he groomed went missing. Castillo is now serving a 15-year sentence for grooming and abusing the child.
Let's make a software.
He has the roughest 15 years that anyone's ever had.
Let's put all the kids on the same social media platform, make their own games, and do not monitor it at all.
Yeah. Just YOLO.
No one is paying attention to what's going on in there. Ugh.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, the crazy thing is they have a child exploitation moderation team.
Oh, I'm sure, but there's 900 trillion children playing that game.
So Roblox employs 3,000 human moderators.
Not nearly enough.
Not enough. And uses AI to filter 50,000 chat messages a second.
They just have a ban list on words.
But despite the efforts, some employees claim the company prioritizes growth over user safety. Weird.
You don't say.
They say there's a backlog of safety incident reports and calls for more resources have been ignored. So they have an additional backlog on top of the 13,000 plus cases.
They probably log into work and they have 24,000 tickets in queue.
Exactly.
You know, what is it? 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, we gotta shut TikTok down, but Roblox, my 12-year-old plays that. Not a big deal. Speaking of 12 years, that's weird. 12 years on, Stardew Valley creator swears, on the honor of my family name, I will never charge money for a DLC or update for as long as I live. I just want to say thank you to Concerned Ape for giving me
awesome.
thousands of hours of gameplay in Stardew Valley. I really look forward to Haunted Chocolatier. Yeah. Can't wait. And thank you. And that's all I wanted to talk about.
Roblox has almost 80 million daily active players.
Yeah.
That's 1 out of 5 Americans playing the same game every day.
I think as adults, we all tend to forget that Roblox exists and that every child plays it.
Mm-hmm. It's bigger than Pokemon was in our generation.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you, Concerned Ape. I mean, he found out if you just make a good game and don't charge a lot of money for it, and it's so awesome that people share it and play it, you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to be a bad, greedy person, and you just make your next game, and you also make it really good. And look, things are going great.
The game sold like gangbusters, so he's like, well, then I guess we get it on more platforms. And by getting it on more platforms, it got into more hands, and then and thus making more money.
And make more content for it, yeah.
Bringing on a team to bringing it to other platforms easier. And now it's on everything. Mm. You can play it on your fucking smart fridge, and the dude's making money hand over fist, and just because he makes good quality content. Yeah. And he gives you all the DLC and everything for free, and it's a game that's easily moddable. Come on, it's all done in Lua, and people write scripts for that in 45 minutes and change the goddamn game.
It's that much better because it just shows that it can be done.
Yeah.
It shows that it really doesn't. It doesn't take fucking Throne and Liberty level budget to make a good game. you know?
Yep. Now, 12 years after, because just a recent patch, he just updated some of the character portraits. He's like, yeah, I made these before I was as good as I am now at making character portraits. So I felt like I just wanted to give some of the characters some love and
Now
make
the
them
fan
look a little bit
clubs
better.
get to fight violently over which portrait is best.
Just don't touch Abigail, man. She's bae, and she's always my wife. I've tried to wife other wives, but I couldn't. Like, I felt like I was cheating on Abigail on new games. I can't do it. I can't change my wife. She is my wife.
My wife.
My wife. Speaking of my wife, Nick, you got one more game.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the weird one. Speaking of my wife.
My wife.
Every once in a while, weird games come along, and then nobody plays them, and another weird game comes along, nobody plays them, and sometimes you get lucky. I first heard about this game because I saw a thing on Twitter of the main character parrying a nuke. I was like, I'm interested. Tell me more, right? And I was told. So VA Proxy, what is VA Proxy? It feels like a game out of a fever dream if the fever was being had by a PlayStation. This is one part Nier Automata. This is one part Armored Core. This is one part Dark Souls. This is one part psychedelic, trippy robot fever dream.
Horizon.
Yeah. I don't really know how to describe it. It is extremely fast-paced DMC / Dark Souls kind of combat style game. Very ultra kill. If you know ultra kill, you probably like ultra kill. Yeah, you can parry nukes. You fight ridiculously giant enemies and small enemies and fast enemies. The world is massive and weird. You don't really know what's going on. It's just this beautiful, messy, cocaine-fueled playground for you to get your ass handed to you over and over again until you get good. There's a free demo. It's so beloved by its fans that if you look up a trailer for it, all you get are fan-made trailers because they want people to play this game. I don't think it's out yet. But like I said, if you go to Steam, search v.a.proxy, there is a free demo. It is coming soon. It's developed by Pyrolith, who has not made any other games. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a team that it's one guy, as far as I can tell here. And yeah, it's another just amazing experience. And if these fast-paced, kind of difficult but crazy games aren't your style, go watch it. Just go watch some VA Proxy on YouTube because it's a blast watching people experience it. So
yeah, and as soon as you shared this with me,
this is a fan-made trailer.
Yeah, and I brought it up, and I saw a fan-made trailer. I also saw in the suggested videos is like several more fan-made trailers.
Yeah. This is a cult classic, and it's not even out yet.
Yeah. So Cataclismo looked awesome and right up my alley. I love those types of games. But this is like me.
It almost looks like Risk of Rain 2.
Yes, yeah, it's
like,
got that look
on an old like PS2 or PS3, and
it almost looks like a Risk of Rain meets Devil May Cry remake.
I would definitely recommend probably playing this with a controller.
Yeah, it looks like a controller game.
Doesn't seem like it would be that easy to play on a keyboard. Just because of how fast-paced it is. Your character moves so goddamn fast. Like you have dodges and dives and jet blasts that like almost send your character away from the camera. He moves so quick, but yeah.
It also looks like at the same time that you say use a controller, it looks like it might be very beneficial to have the quick aim speed of a mouse too. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe combo the two.
No, I was literally thinking of what control scheme I would use for this.
Mouse.
Yeah, because as we're watching this trailer and you're describing the game, I'm like, is this a keyboard or is this a controller game?
Yeah.
So yeah, no,
we'll find out.
This looks like a lot of fun. Again, links to everything that we've talked about today, videogametango.com. Check out the blog for the show notes. I know it's been a weird kind of disjointed podcast this week. At least I feel it. Like I think it was good.
Been good.
Yeah, I think
get back in the swing thing.
Yeah, we're a little bit rusty. I'm tired, guys. I have never had allergies this bad. By the end of every day, I feel like I've got a cold.
That's not great.
Yeah, every day I wake up, my eyes are glued together.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb.
I'm sorry.
I feel stupid by the end of my day. But despite that, we're back
We're back.
I'm glad to be back. It feels good to be in the seat again.
Josh, 5 last words.
Nope.
Josh, 5 last words.
Nope.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Will that work?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be able to edit out right after your squeal.
I'm just gonna mute it, and then like we're gonna go out with the visual, because holy fuck, dude, I don't know that you could have said anything fucking funnier than that.
It's like I'm just fighting to breathe over here. Oh man.
God.
I hope someone is still in chat and got to experience that.
Holy shit, dude.
Like Conan Mida.
Oh man.
Oh, egregious too.
That is.
Yeah.
That was so fucking good. Ooh.
I was thinking to myself, like, how many words do I give him? Because if I don't give him enough, he's just going to be upset. I was like, 5 seems like enough. He didn't even need 2. Yeah. You clipped it, right?
I really tried to come up with something for like half a second. I was like, I got nothing.
I did blindside you. Yep.
Oh my God. That's severe face pain is setting in. Oh my God.
He's got that SFP.
Whew.